Emperors indeed had numerous contradictions amongst themselves, but at critical moments, they were still united. Only through unity could the emperors of the Flame-Wind ancient country possess enough deterrence to suppress all rogue cultivators and occupy the finest resources. This was also the command of the ancestor of Flame-Wind. Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array. Fu drove the array formation secret treasure, unleashing an ancient array imbued with the essence of primordiality that manifested as an 8-layered formation. The layers were stacked upon one another, with Fu and Emperor Ming at the array's core, supported by the other 6 emperors. Activate array. The might of this ancient, unadorned array immediately rose to the upper limit of power in the land of origin, and their coordination made the realm even more inexplicably profound. In terms of strength, Emperor Ming, aided by his formidable spiritual will, had explored the depths of his primordial bloodline to new heights, combined with a super-secret treasure. Emperor Ming gave it his all, and his might could indeed reach the upper limit in the land of origin. The combined might of the 8 emperors was beyond doubt. Although Emperor Yuan has caused much trouble, he cannot die at the hands of a rogue cultivator. Each of the emperors refused to allow such an event to occur. We must stop Luo He. Fu too did not wish for the relationship between Luo Feng and the Flame-Wind ancient country to turn sour. Killing an emperor, that would be a great disaster. If the ancestor were to rage, I'm afraid I couldn't continue to join hands with Luo He either. The Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array, in an instant, traversed an immense distance to arrive at the region shrouded by the endless blood river. Rumble. As soon as the array descended, carrying an extremely terrible might, it was about to crush the blood river to save Emperor Yuan. It's arrived. Emperor Yuan, his body eroded and ravaged by the endless bloody streams, excitedly looked up. At this moment, even though he was protected by a few super-secret treasures, his body was still being continuously destroyed and extinguished. On one side was the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array. On the other side was the endless blood river, manipulated by Luo Feng through the Star Tower. Both had reached the upper limit of the Land of Origin's power. Now the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array had crossed the vast expanse of space and forcefully pressed down, intending to shatter the endless blood river. Boom. The expressions of Fu, Emperor Chu, Dian, Emperor Ming, Kong, and the other 5 emperors simultaneously shifted. Because when they tried to suppress with the array, they felt the endless blood river had tumultuous power, a completeness unto itself, as if an immense blood python rolled over, repelling the entire Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array. The 8 emperors joined forces. With Fu and Emperor Ming involved, what they considered an invincible terrifying array was actually at a disadvantage in a head-on collision. Impossible. The Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array, its might has already reached the upper limit of the Land of Origin. And it's driven by an array formation secret treasure, the realm of which is extremely profound. With Emperor Ming's spiritual will aiding in maneuvering the array's might, can we still not win? Fu, Emperor Chu, Dian, and the others couldn't believe it. Penetrate. Fu immediately switched tactics in the array. The Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array in an instant seemed illusory, as if it became a part of space itself, quietly encompassing the endless and vast blood river. The endless blood river surged furiously, and with just a slight outburst of power, the source world's membrane manifested countless tiny cracks, and in an instant, many fissures also appeared in the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array. Quickly withdraw the array, Emperor Ming urged anxiously. Withdraw. Fu no longer dared to try to envelop the entire endless blood river, and the array instantly concealed itself as it pulled back. Head-on we can't overcome. Not even through spatial infiltration. Fu communicated to the 7 companions. What can be done now? Our array has long reached the upper limit of the Land of Origin's power, but still lost in a direct confrontation. Clearly we lack at least an entire tier in mystery, which is a qualitative difference, Yen transmitted anxiously. This black-robed figure is likely in existence above a godly king. Could it be that the Lord of 10,000 Realms has broken through, reaching above a godly king? Is it the East Extreme Domain ancestor who has intervened? All 8 emperors were somewhat panic-stricken. All 8 united and still were at a disadvantage. They did not believe that those of the ultimate realm could achieve this. The publicly known existences above godly kings on the Land of Origin were only the 4. Both countries' ancestors, the East Extreme Domain ancestor, Emperor Ching. The Lord of 10,000 Realms, having comprehended a complete Great Tao on his own, also had the potential to take that step. Quickly save me, I can't hold on any longer. I am going to die. Emperor Yuan transmitted in utter desperation. We can't save you, Fu replied. The 8 of us united cannot overcome it. Emperor Yuan reincarnate. Dian also transmitted. Don't use the resurrection carrier, it's too weak, and it definitely can't withstand the Black Robe's pursuit. When Emperor Yuan sensed the arrival of the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array, he harbored hope. But a moment later, that array and the endless blood river clashed several times, losing each time and being completely suppressed. It's over. Emperor Yuan felt a chill in his heart at this moment. The emperors were transmitting to him at this moment. Emperor Ching, save me. Emperor Ching. Emperor Yuan called out time after time. At this moment he only longed for Emperor Ching to act, but Emperor Ching hadn't responded to him at all from beginning to end. It's completely over. At this moment, Emperor Yuan understood that he had no choice left. If it were an ordinary battle amongst godly kings, even if his true body were destroyed, he could still recultivate using a resurrection carrier. But the black-robed figure, with the endless blood river's profound ability pressing down on the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array, had such a high realm that it defied comprehension. Such an existence must be adept at techniques involving causality, curse killing, and the like. The resurrection carrier is weaker than any avatar. It's weakest right after resurrecting. The black-robed was also adept at spiritual will attacks. In the face of attacks related to causality and curse killing, under spiritual will attacks, Emperor Yuan knew that his resurrection carrier would most likely die. That sort of death would be absolute and complete. There would be no time for reincarnation. Emperor Ching, oh Emperor Ching, I'm about to die and still you refuse to heed my calls, thought Emperor Yuan at this moment, feeling extremely stifled. As his physical body rapidly deteriorated and infiltrated by a destructive force, he didn't have much time to think further. In his final moments, he cast an affectionate glance at the super-secret treasures on his body. 5 super-secret treasures and ultimate realm life form. All gone. When only a tenth of Emperor Yuan's physical body remained, he cast the reincarnation secret technique with a single thought. Luo Feng, who controlled the vast and boundless endless blood river, noticed that Emperor Yuan's body had dissipated, leaving only items behind. Reincarnated? Luo Feng readied himself, planning to join Morosa in unleashing the curse-killing technique. Morosa was skilled in curse-killing from the time he was in the first realm as a godly king, and now as an ultimate realm being, he was obviously confident in killing a resurrection carrier. Luo Feng's own path of destruction had also reached the second realm of God King, and he had further understood many secret patterns of destructive paths in the Star Tower, capable of initiating the curse-killing technique himself. Together, they were highly likely to deal with a newly born resurrection carrier. Emperor Yuan really did it cleanly, choosing not to transfer his consciousness to a resurrection carrier but to reincarnate. Luo Feng thought, if he ever exposes his identity in the future, then I'll find an opportunity to eliminate him. The premise is that Emperor Yuan would voluntarily expose his identity. Once reincarnated, if Emperor Yuan was careful, nobody would know about his reincarnated form. Sigh. Luo Feng's endless blood river swept up and collected Emperor Yuan's remaining secret treasures. Black-robed. A shout of anger came from a distance. The 8 emperors within the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array all looked over, and it was Emperor Yen who shouted furiously, Black-robed, even if you are in existence above God Kings by killing an emperor of the Flame Wind Ancient Country, our Flame Wind Ancient Country royal family will not let this go. Ha ha. Luo Feng laughed, not letting it go, what can you possibly do? This black-robed. He simply doesn't take us seriously. The 8 emperors were frantic with rage, yet they knew there was nothing they could do. Under the restrictions of the rules of the land of origin, as long as one reached above the God King level, even the ancestors of 2 countries would find it difficult to harm each other. In reality, beings like the East Extreme Domain Ancestor and the Lord of Wanjie Kingdom were relatively low profile, because they were well aware that the ancestors of the 2 countries had long achieved an exceedingly high realm, and if they ventured out from the land of origin, they still couldn't provoke the ancestors of the 2 countries, and might even need their care and protection. This was also the reason why the East Extreme Domain Ancestor yielded to the ancestors of the 2 countries. This being above the God King really acts without any restraint. What can we do? The emperors felt quite helpless. They watched the black-robed, golden-faced powerhouse and the elderly servant within the boundless blood river, this master and servant pair, apparently unconcerned about offending the Flame Wind Ancient Country. The guise Morosa adopted at this moment bore some resemblance to mountain-sitting guest's disguised puppet. Let's go. Luo Feng smiled, taking Morosa with him as they swept away with the endless blood river. The emperors within the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array looked at each other. What do we do? Emperor Yuan has reincarnated, and with his debt level within the clan, even if he comes back to the royal family for recognition of his identity, after reincarnation, he won't be able to return as an ultimate realm life form. If he can't become an ultimate realm life form and exposes his identity, he's just seeking death. These emperors understood this point. An ordinary god king at the peak of the second realm would find it very difficult to survive against the pursuit of a black-robed powerhouse. So, after Emperor Yuan's reincarnation, I guess he won't come to the royal family for recognition of his identity. It's a pity. 13 emperors have become 12. This is a big joke for our Flame Wind Ancient Country royal family. They sighed. The Flame Wind Ancient Country of the past was overwhelmingly powerful, suppressing all sides. Aside from the Thunder Ancient Country, no other forces dared to confront them directly. They all bowed their heads in their presence. But today Emperor Yuan died. The death of an emperor in the land of origin had too great an impact. The strength of Black-robed is not something we can handle. We should tell Emperor Ching about this. And, report to the ancestor as well, said Emperor LuoFeng with a shake of his head and a sigh. It's indeed necessary to inform the ancestor, Emperor Shen agreed. Let's go. Fu immediately operated the array formation, leading the many emperors back. In Huyang City, atop a tower in the city owner's mansion, Luo Feng and Morosa were drinking wine. Master is wise, by killing those sinners one by one, you have drawn out the true culprit behind the scenes, Morosa said cheerfully. Haha, openly killing an emperor of the Flame Wind Ancient Country felt so gratifying. Emperor Yuan deserved to die, it's only a pity I can't break the reincarnation technique. Otherwise, even if he reincarnated, I would still need to kill him. Luo Feng had no pity for scum like Emperor Yuan, who devoured creatures on a scale of nations, many times more terrifying than Tianquan. Continue your journey with my virtual library empire. I previously wanted to spar and compete with the master, but now I realize I'm far too lacking compared to my master, Morosa said with emotion. He had now seen for himself the great Tao of life and death as a fusion Tao, with the 7 branches combined into moves comparable to a sector beast's ultimate moves, and the 8th branch combined touching the threshold of above God King. With the aid of the Star Tower's activation, the realm is much higher, naturally making Morosa look up to it. Stop buttering me up, Luo Feng laughed. This matter isn't over yet. Not over yet? Morosa asked in confusion. The flame-wind ancient country still has Emperor Ching, and there's that unfathomable primogenitor Yen Feng, Luo Feng said. Let's see what they'll do next. In Chengdu of the flame-wind ancient country, the most transcendent of capital cities, none dared to be presumptuous, including the 3 powerful alien clans on the land of origin. At this moment inside the Emperor Ching palace, while the master is in closed-door meditation, no one can disturb him, a puppet creature said coldly as it stood outside the palace doors, facing the 8 figures before it. Marquis Di Fu and the other 7 emperors had gathered here. There has been a major incident, Di Fu began. One of the 13 emperors of our flame-wind ancient country, Emperor Yuan, has been murdered. This is no trivial matter. You should go and report to your master immediately. Although they had all sent messages to Emperor Ching, during his meditation he uniformly ignored all communication. You servant, report to your master at once, Emperor Di Yan rebuked. Hurry up and report, Emperor Jing Feng also urged. The puppet creature looked at the 8 emperors expressionless and shook its head. The master has ordered that no matter the significance of the event, he shall not be disturbed during his meditation. You, Emperor Chu couldn't hold back. Did you not hear that Emperor Yuan has been murdered? Even if all the emperors were killed, it would not be permissible to disturb my master, the puppet creature said coldly. It would carry out the master's orders without exception, regardless of who came. The 8 emperors were fuming. What kind of reasoning was this? All the emperors dead and Emperor Qing wouldn't care? This puppet servant is too inflexible, impossible to reason with, Di Kong also commented from the side. Enough, Di Fu said. Emperor Qing must be dealing with an important matter. Let's go to the ancestor. Although the 8 emperors were quite dissatisfied, none of them dared to forcefully enter Emperor Qing's place of meditation, and they could only leave helplessly. Within a hidden world in the flame-wind ancient country, there lay a simple and ancient cave mansion. The 8 emperors stood respectfully at the entrance of the mansion, not daring to show the slightest carelessness. Informing the ancestor, a black-robed figure accompanied by an old servant attacked and killed Emperor Yuan, forcing him to choose reincarnation. Di Fu reported respectfully at the entrance of the cave mansion. This black-robed figure is extremely powerful. All 8 of us together were no match for him, and he is suspected to be a being above a god king. How shall our flame-wind ancient country deal with this black-robed figure? Please instruct us, ancestor. After Di Fu finished speaking, the other 7 emperors also stood respectfully to the side, patiently awaiting a response. After a long time, the cave mansion was silent, with no response whatsoever. I have reported as well, but the ancestor has not responded. He must also be in meditation, Di Fu said to his companions. Following the rules, the ancestor will naturally become aware of everything once he comes out of his meditation. The other 7 emperors also felt helpless. If the ancestor's avatar were in an awakened state, it would have responded immediately. But if he was in meditation, when he would respond was uncertain. Let's go, they said. The 8 emperors could only leave, not daring to step into the simple and ancient cave mansion. All the powers on the land of origin could sense the complete disappearance of Emperor Yuan's causality. This signified Emperor Yuan was either dead for good or had been forced into reincarnation. This was a matter of grave importance. Emperor Yuan is dead? A middle-aged man arrived at the previous battlefield. As he walked along the timeline of the past, he effortlessly discovered the pre-battle scene. The Iron Demon Lord was in a secret palace while Emperor Yuan lurked nearby. Suddenly the surrounding scene became indistinct. The killer must be at least of the ultimate realm, the middle-aged man murmured in astonishment, a perfection of the great Tao, leaving no trace behind. The battle made a huge commotion. I only saw from a distance the collision between the endless blood river and the 8-phase array of the 8 emperors, the middle-aged man mused. It's unclear who the killer is. Interesting. Daring to disrespect the ancestors of the 2 countries and killing Emperor Yuan, the middle-aged man was quite curious. The collision between the endless blood river and the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array was too terrifying to spy on. On the entire land of origin, only a few, such as the 3 alien clans, the Lord of 10,000 Realms, and the Heavenly Wood National Boundary Beast, could glimpse some traces. As for LuoFeng's appearance, no one had seen it. All parties investigating the truth could only deduce. Emperor Yuan was murdered by a being at least of the ultimate realm. Emperor Yuan, possessing a full set of super-secret treasures, died within moments? 8 emperors of the flame-wind ancient country combined their strength and still couldn't save him? This news was also spread among the monarchs of the Thunder ancient country. These monarchs were also shaken. On the land of origin, it seemed as if the 2 ancient countries stood side by side. However, in terms of deterrence, The Thunder Ancient Country was a notch below the Flame Wind Ancient Country, which after all had Emperor Ching. That murderer, if targeting any one of us monarchs, could easily kill us, they speculated. This person is very likely in existence above a god king. One glance could damage our minds and drive us mad. These monarchs felt unsettled, knowing well the clear flaw in those of them who cultivated the primordial bloodline. In the face of a being above a god king, just one look was enough to make them lose control. In the coming time, act more cautiously and identify the killer as soon as possible. These monarchs also became more wary. In the subsequent days, the entire land of origin was fraught with tension. The once high and mighty royal families of the two ancient countries had significantly reigned in their arrogance, and their acts of devouring countless creatures had completely ceased. Everyone knew that the culprit hated evil intensely. Our emperor from the Flame Wind Ancient Country has been killed, for the first time in history. Emperor Yuan has been killed, and it's been quite a while. There's been no word of Emperor Yuan's return. Could he be truly dead? Read exclusive adventures at my virtual library Empire. The 12 emperors personally tried to save him but only managed to delay things a bit. Emperor Yuan had enough time for reincarnation. Probably he dares not return to the royal family, fearing that the killer will continue to pursue him. A group of marquises from Emperor Chu's lineage gathered and also discussed this matter. Now, at the gatherings of the royal families of the two ancient countries, the hot topic was the death of Emperor Yuan. The relationship between Emperor Chu's lineage and Emperor Yuan's lineage wasn't good, so these marquises discussed the topic with visible excitement. That killer hates evil. He probably doesn't even care about us from the primal chaos realm royal family, Emperor Chu said with a smile. The gap in strength was too vast. The ordinary members of the imperial clan, on the other hand, were just onlookers. The ones truly uneasy were the godly kings of the second realm from the imperial clan, the emperors and monarchs, and those members of the royal family entangled in major sins. Emperor Ching Palace. Rumble, the ancient Great Hall's doors finally opened. Emperor Ching, the most detached among the 13 emperors of the Flame Wind Ancient Country, had emerged from seclusion, and this news quickly reached the ears of the other emperors. Instantly, Emperor Fu, Emperor Yuan, Emperor Shi, and the others, whether in their true presence or as avatars, all rushed over. Please take a seat. Emperor Ching was seated at the head. The 11 emperors took their seats, all with submissive postures. They were well aware that although they all appeared to be emperors, they would soon have to leave the land of origin to venture forth. They were not on the same level as Emperor Ching, not even close. Emperor Ching, you should know about the matter, said Emperor Fu. What do you think we should do now? Ha. Emperor Ching sat there and actually began to laugh. With Emperor Yuan's death, we in the Flame Wind Ancient Country are down to 12 emperors. Emperor Fu and the other 11 emperors were somewhat speechless. Could Emperor Ching actually be laughing at such an event? Has Emperor Yuan returned to the royal family after his reincarnation? Emperor Ching asked again. A reincarnated identity is uncontrollable, and judging by the number of creatures in the land of origin, the likelihood of reincarnating into a tribe in the wilderness was highest. Emperor Yuan had the realm and could quickly recover his strength in a short period. And he could even acknowledge his royal family. Confirming his identity was relatively easy, such as the few ultimate realm secret techniques that Emperor Yuan possessed, or the detailed merit points Emperor Yuan owed to the clan, which could easily confirm his identity. He has not returned, stated Emperor Fu. He owes the clan too much, without enough points to exchange for adequate resources to cultivate into an ultimate realm life form again. He's quite clever, nodded Emperor Ching. As long as he doesn't reveal himself, no one will know his reincarnated identity, making it the safest option. Emperor Yuan also spoke up. Emperor Ching, are we just going to let this go? It's a minor issue, why bother making too much of it? Replied Emperor Ching lightly. He considered it merely an amusement. A minor issue? Emperor Diwu could not help but interject. The death of one of 13 emperors affects the entire royal family of the Flame Wind Ancient Country. Emperor Ching's gaze fell on Emperor Diwu. Emperor Diwu's heart trembled, and he did not dare speak further. They haven't died completely, they've all reincarnated. What's there to fuss about? Emperor Ching's gaze swept over the seated 11 emperors. You've been living too comfortably in the land of origin, this small setback is nothing. Emperor Ching had left an avatar in the land of origin, but he had already started venturing outside. The outside world was where true life and death struggles lay in darkness. That was where the real perils lurked. In the outside world, at best one's avatar would die in battle, losing many precious treasures accumulated. At worst, it would affect the avatar in the source world, leading to complete obliteration. Even the ancestors of the two countries tread carefully, cautiously venturing outside. In Emperor Ching's view, the land of origin was far too safe. These emperors had become too complacent. Yes, said Emperor Fu. Compared with venturing in the outside world, the land of origin's issues are indeed minor. But we still need a plan of action. You 8 acting together already possess might reaching the limit of the land of origin, said Emperor Ching leisurely. Combined with the array formation secret treasure, even surpassing the emperor level in the intricacy of the moves. Even under such circumstances, you were suppressed by that black-robed individual. Black-robed, either he's of a very high realm or he relies on a tremendously powerful secret treasure. In any case, his endless blood river, its realm is even higher than your formation. Emperor Ching shook his head. Even if I took action it would barely be a match. Even if I had the upper hand, I would not be able to defeat him. Under the rules of the land of origin, even an ancestor wouldn't be able to get the better of him, said Emperor Ching. The 11 emperors remained silent. Do not rush into battle heedlessly, Emperor Ching advised the 11 emperors. In the future, when you leave the land of origin, you will encounter many more powerful individuals. You should learn to make friends or at least not make too many enemies. If this black-robed individual reaches above God King in the land of origin and becomes invincible, then we need to think of a way to coexist with him, Emperor Ching said with a smile. If we can't kill him, we'll have to adapt to him. The 11 emperors also understood the reasoning, but for the domineering flame-wind ancient country royal family to now adapt to this black-robed individual? We're willing to make friends with him, but what if he continues to be hostile towards us and strikes us down? Emperor Yan inquired. Emperor Qin gave a slight smile. If we proactively seek friendship and he still affronts us, then we become enemies. Once enemies, we'll kill him whenever we encounter him outside the land of origin. In the outside world, making friends is important, but so is killing. Power and position are won through battle. The foundation of our flame-wind ancient country lies in the land of origin. Emperor Qing addressed the 11 emperors. Therefore we should try our best to befriend him. After all, if things truly escalate, the ancestor and I can hunt him down outside. But within the land of origin, he could cause utter chaos. Mutual destruction is undesirable, Emperor Qing stated. Yes, the 11 emperors responded in agreement. The land of origin is only so vast. Logically, such a strong entity shouldn't suddenly emerge, Emperor Qing said thoughtfully. I'll ask the Lord of 10,000 Realms to see if it's him. The 11 emperors were also waiting. Their prime suspect at the moment was indeed the Lord of 10,000 Realms. Previously they had confirmed the black-robed figure to be Di Fu of Luo, but now some doubts arose. After all, it's been not long since Luo achieved the godly king realm. Could he suppress 8 emperors working together? And without leaving any traces? Whoosh! Emperor Qing sat there. Yet a ripple had already crossed vast distances, descending upon the capital of Wanjie Kingdom. Lord! A thought arrived in this capital. The Lord of 10,000 Realms was currently in closed-door cultivation. He was tall and had a gentle appearance. Looking up at the condensing figure of Emperor Qing in front of him, he couldn't help but sigh. Old friend, your strength has become more and more unfathomable. In this era, only the two of them on the land of origin had comprehended the complete Great Tao. They were competitors as well as fellow travelers. It's just that Emperor Qing's resource conditions were much better than the Lord of 10,000 Realms, taking a step ahead to reach above God King. And he began to venture into the outside world, increasing the gap between them. Venturing into the outer worlds, although more dangerous, also offers more experiences and opportunities. Emperor Qing smiled at the Lord of 10,000 Realms. I invited you to join me in the past, yet you were reluctant. You reached above God King before venturing out. I still remain in the ultimate realm, said the Lord of 10,000 Realms. The difference between the ultimate realm and above God King is qualitative. Ordinary beings in the ultimate realm, life in the outside worlds is still too harsh for them. We are both creatures nurtured by the source world, protected by the supreme rules of the source world, Emperor Qing said. Even if our avatars die in the outside worlds, the avatars that stay at home can recover their strength and dispatch new avatars. This is the advantage of creatures from the source world. Born in the source world and possessing clone technique, the likelihood of death becomes very low. I've heard that the outer worlds also face a great crisis. It could even affect the avatars within the source world, said the Lord of 10,000 Realms. Yes. Emperor Qing said, if you're really unlucky and encounter high-level primordial life, their level of life, their realm, is too high above us. Even though the supreme rules can block many attacks, soul pollution is unavoidable. Once we're contaminated, all our avatar souls will be contaminated. Your journey continues on my virtual library empire. Too strong contamination, even avatars will completely perish, Emperor Qing explained. Previously, LuoFeng's spiritual will in the ultimate realm of God King, just a segment of a dream vision, resulted in a mild contamination. High-level primordial life so terrifying, the Lord of 10,000 Realms was shocked. The probability is very low, Emperor Qing said. Predecessors like Yuan are also trying to protect us, the weaker ones, and are working hard to nurture us. Thus, we only face low-level primordial life. If a low-level primordial life could evolve into a high-level primordial life, and we happen to encounter it, that would just mean we have bad luck. You see, the ancestors of the two countries also lived for so long, Emperor Qing smiled. As long as we are a bit more careful and avoid the most dangerous places, those of us from the source world with avatars are relatively safe. Is it true that most creatures from outside worlds don't have avatars? The Lord of 10,000 Realms asked curiously. Emperor Qing nodded. Only creatures born in the source world might have avatars. That's also an advantage of us, the creatures of the source world. The Lord of 10,000 Realms nodded in understanding. By the way, that black-robed figure who killed Di Yuan, do you know his identity? Asked Emperor Qing. The battle back then was massive. I observed from a distance and only saw the endless blood river and the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array. I couldn't see through the identity of the black-robed figure, said the Lord of 10,000 Realms. You didn't suspect it was me? On the surface, the most likely one in the land of origin with the strength to do this would be you, Emperor Qing said with a smile. But I know you too well, it's not your style. The Lord of 10,000 Realms nodded. I too wonder just who is this black-robed figure. Even the 8 emperors using the Primordial Space Eight-Phases Array couldn't stand against him, yet he managed to suppress it. Emperor Ching frowned. If it's not you and it can't be the East Extreme Domain ancestor, then who could it be? The rise of a strong entity is a process. From primal chaos realm, first realm of godly king, second realm of godly king, to the ultimate realm, growing step by step. In theory there should be traces, the Lord of 10,000 realms said. The Lord of the Shadow Sky realm also cultivates the matter and infinite great Taos. He achieves ultimate. By pioneering a new great Tao and being recognized by the infinite space, he could exchange for a very suitable and powerful secret treasure for himself. It is possible to exert such strength, the Lord of 10,000 realms speculated. The infinite space rewards generously for pioneering a great Tao. The fire ancestor is even more favored by Yuan and also has a slim possibility. And that Luo who just entered the primal chaos realm, is already demonstrating a transcending primal chaos strength. Just becoming a godly king, he is already the strongest first realm godly king ever known. Just entering the second realm of godly king, he is capable of contending with the dark sky venerable of the destruction army. This Luo could also possibly create miracles. The Lord of 10,000 realms thought, considering the entire land of origin, those capable of creating miracles, doing inconceivable things, could only be these 3. Other cultivators' talents all fall short compared to them. Shadow Sky Realm, Fire Ancestor Luo? Emperor Ching smiled. No rush. With such strength, he will reveal more and more of himself. The Lord of 10,000 realms nodded. The strength of the black-robed figure is too terrifying. They don't want to risk exposing his identity. Flame Wind Ancient Country and Thunder Ancient Country occupy the very center of the land of origin, which is also the most prosperous area. Surrounding them are also Qinmu Kingdom, Wanjie Kingdom, 2 top-tier countries, and a large number of second and third-tier countries. The Iron Demon Lord, ranked first in sins in the land of origin, initially dominated a second-rate country and even essentially controlled the surrounding dozen or so countries, as he had once plundered the populations of 12 countries in one swoop. The surrounding godly kings had long fled, not willing to be neighbors with this Iron Demon Lord. Now, Yuan is dead, and the Iron Demon Lord has also disappeared. The surrounding dozen or so countries have lost their leader. Naturally, there were undercurrents of strife. The territory actually controlled by the Iron Demon Lord includes 3 second-rate countries and 13 third-rate countries. A total of no less than 359 primal chaos prefectures. Such a vast area qualifies to establish a first-rate country. There are many forces coveting this territory. There are forces backed by the 2 ancient countries, the 3 alien clans, and that black-robed figure might also intervene. Various forces initially restrained themselves, but over time they gradually began to fight each other. Huyang City, city owner's mansion. Luo Feng was inside the Star Tower, examining the spoils of war before him. A red cloak, a set of armor, a bead, a pair of gloves and a pair of combat boots. 5 beyond God King level secret treasures. Luo Feng was also studying the mysteries contained in these treasures. Unfortunately, these 5 treasures are most suitable for Yuan. Each one is centered around the origin Tao of the world. These 5 treasures. Each one is centered around the origin Tao of the world, while also encompassing many other mysteries. Clearly they are above the godly king level. This bead, for instance, has some use. Luo Feng picked up a black bead containing an evolving abyss. This bead, with the world at its core and accommodating both the paths of life and destruction. The 3 paths evolve the abyss together. It is somewhat helpful for me. These gloves also hold some mysteries of the destruction path. As for the other treasures, I can't use them at all. Luo Feng felt helpless. Exchanging treasures in the infinite space treasure vault, one can freely choose, selecting what is most suitable for oneself. But what about the spoils of war from killing Yuan? No choice, they were the secret treasures suitable for Yuan. Even this bead is centered around the Tao of the world. Luo Feng was somewhat disdainful. This abyss pearl could be used to aid in cultivation but was unsuitable for combat. These 5 treasures are wasted in my hands, I should think of a way to sell them. Luo Feng pondered. Master, Morosa suddenly transmitted a message. LuoFeng's thoughts moved, summoning Morosa in. What's wrong? Luo Feng looked at Morosa. Master, the realm essentially dominated by the Iron Demon Lord has now erupted into conflict between various parties. Morosa couldn't help but say, shall we intervene and seize that territory? Luo Feng waved his hand, and a vast map of the land of origin appeared before him. The Iron Demon Lord essentially controlled 3 second-rate countries and 13 third-rate countries. The territory is quite extensive, Luo Feng observed. It was the support from Yuan that enabled him to govern such a territory, Morosa spoke. Yuan's death naturally attracted many forces. Such a vast territory with its regular output of rare natural treasures, the residence fees provided by countless cultivators, and even some demons devouring creatures. This vast area will attract many ancient existences. They are now fighting, even minor repercussions will affect many weaker cultivators. Morosa looked at Luo Feng. If the master were to govern this territory, it could also become stable. Luo Feng carefully observed the land of origin map, pondering for a moment. Killing these great sinners does indeed leave behind quite a bit of territory. Luo Feng looked down and casually drew a line. the territory of the Iron Demon Lord, the territory of the Black Vulture Ancestor, and the leftover territory of the Sky Ho God King, are all in this area. With this stroke, the Iron Demon Lord was between the two ancient countries. The Black Vulture Ancestor was on the side of the Thunder Ancient Country. The line drawn by Luo Feng completely encapsulated both, as well as some countries, forming a slender strip-shaped territorial pattern. This territory has been in long-term conflicts and there are many demons lurking, Luo Feng said. We'll take it over. Master, the Black Vulture Ancestor is still alive and is in control of this territory. He actually controls 287 primal chaos prefectures. It's said that he controls it, but in reality, it's the Thunder Mountain monarchs behind him. Morosa couldn't help but say, we've just seriously offended the Flame Wind Ancient Country, and now we're going to take away such a large territory from the hands of Thunder Mountain. Does the Black Vulture Ancestor have an opinion? Or do the monarchs behind him dare have an opinion? Luo Feng glanced at Morosa. Morosa shivered. He was still too timid. We'll follow the master's decision, Morosa immediately responded. Luo Feng looked at the territory map before him. With this stroke, he had delineated a territory comprising 729 primal chaos prefectures. In terms of size, it was much larger than Qinmu Kingdom, Wanjie Kingdom, and East Extreme Domain, and it came close to matching the two ancient countries. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos.